Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Happy Friday. We've made it through the week. For those of you who are having a Holy Week, I know tonight is a holiday for those, but I hope you're going to join and have some fun. So just kind of waiting, getting things caught up here. My phone just told me I went live. I forgot to turn my phone on. So actually, before we quick do that, we better do that. Make sure that I'm on a focus mode so no one disturbs us with the camera, because I've had that happen before. All right, I hear myself. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my volume. Now, I know there may not be a lot of people on tonight with us, but that's okay. I'm just going to kind of go ahead and get started here in a minute. I'm going to switch my camera around for those of you that are watching on replay. And I'm going to go ahead and go over some of the cards I've made so far with the Groovy release and show some of them. So hopefully we got Hope. It's still going to autofocus. Okay. Hello, Melissa. Hello, Brandon. Hello, Amanda. Hi, Karen. It's funny. Some of them are popping up on my TV faster than they are on my on the chat. All right. Now I saw. Okay. It looks like we're out of focus for a minute. There we go. All right. Here is one of the cards I made. This is the BOK stamp of the month, and I colored it with some of the aqua pigment sheets, watercolor sheets. I don't remember the exact name for them. They came with the Stampin' Stamp Club Plus, and then I used the die of the month and the pattern paper. Hi, Penny. How are you guys all? And then I also have this one. This one has the, this is from the Groovy Vibe scent. We're going to use that tonight. Has the lava lamp embossing powder. This is based on the CYOE challenge, which is that sketch, which is kind of like a focal image like this with this little band here. I have just a very clean and simple using the stamp of the month and the Love Planters stamp set. This actually is just a piece of the pattern paper pad. I cut it in half and I stamped on there and colored it with some alcohol markers for a very simple, fun card. And then I have a couple other ones here, and then we'll get started. So I really like this one. This is one of the creative cards. I used a deckled edge die from my stash, the stencil of the month, and I just stenciled tone on tone. And then if you look, see the sparkle on there? I sprayed it. And then I also used a little bit of the embossing glaze on her earrings and in her little barrettes up here, and then added a little bit of gilded embossing powder for some extra shimmer. And then last but not least, I have, this is the stencil of the month. I stenciled every other one, and then I flipped the stencil to do the opposite color. I just set all my colors out in rainbow order, and then I flipped it. And so I did them, and then I used the lava lamp with the embossing powder of the month here too. So, all right, that's enough show and tell. Let's get started. I also wanted to say thank you on my package. I got a beautiful birthday card from Isis. So thank you from Isis. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's right here on my desk. All right, we're going to do a little messy tonight first, and then we're going to get right into our card. Thanks, Amanda. Hi, Shirley. So I just have a piece of, I don't know if this is Not Your Mama's or if it's heavier, 100-pound cardstock. I have a bunch of card panels cut up, and I already have some of this done because obviously I can't do both sides in one because it's pastes. And I've got the stencil of the month, and I'm just gonna go ahead and show you kind of how I line up. I love stencils like this because you can line them up perfectly to make them, the pattern, and you can go across an entire slimline or mini slim card. So I'm going to go ahead and cover that up. And then what we're going to use tonight is one of my favorites, which is the Opal Chroma Glaze. So I'm going to go ahead and, I do want to make sure that this is straight as can be. My paper might not be straight, and I might cut this down because this is one I'll use later. And I'm going to all I'm going to do, off to the side here, I have my little stencil pal bucket full of water and my little bit of stencil cleaner that I can pop this in. And we're just gonna, I like to go, like I said, I've said this a couple of times. I like to go one direction if I can. Now I know I don't always go one direction, but I try to go one direction. Like right here, I'm gonna go just a little bit because I'm going over where I already had some. I'm trying to get it as smooth as possible so there's not, so that the pattern is smooth. There's not like crevices, you know, you get a nice, smooth, even pattern. So I like to put it on with a kind of thicker, with one of these type of palettes. I have this one from Nuvo. It's a silicone one, which is nice. It comes in a pack of 2 or 3. I don't even remember where I got it, but it's nice because it just, should wait on that. If it dries on there, it comes off clean. And then I use my little stencil pal. Hi, Kate. And I just like to wipe it down and just kind of go, like I said, one direction, try to go at an angle a little bit, and then I can scrape a little off. Now this is, it's been a while since I've used this with a color. I don't know if you can do this over a color. The color might show through a little bit because it's not going to be necessarily translucent, but if you have a deep color underneath, you might see it a little bit, but it would tint it, so you wouldn't be able to put it back in the bin. Okay, so I'm just wiping that off, and I kind of wipe off what I can here in my jar, and we're going to move forward. I got 2 cards for us tonight. Pull that off. I'm just going to grab this, flip it upside down in my little stencil pal off to the stencil bin off to the side to soak. And then I'm going to take this piece, set it off to the side to dry. This is my spray tray. I also have a couple other ones. I just like to put it in something or on a piece of plastic, sometimes plastic, a laminated sheet of paper or the plastic pouches from the stamp sets, because then it doesn't stick to it. But I just happen to have this handy tonight. So we're going to clean that up, and then through the magic of television, I've got one all ready for you guys. I just realized I don't have a ton of this left, so I have this in my cart. How can I send you a card? I have a P.O. box. I can put it in the comments if you give me just a second. You do not have to, but I can give you, I have a P.O. box, so it's not like it's going to come to my house. So let me quick type that if you give me just a second. Oh, it's not going to let me that. I don't know, Penny, if you're in there, you want to do it for me, type it in on your phone. It's P.O. Box 393. And then Guttenberg, Guttenberg in Iowa, 52052. So, but I'll put it in the comments below too. Okay, Susan? I appreciate it. Like I said, you do not have to, but thank you. It's fun to get happy mail. So through the power of TV, I have one that's dry. And of course, my phone, iPhones like to refocus, so I apologize for that part of it. I can't control that part. If you notice, there's a little bit of the overhang right here. That's from it drying, and I did not wipe it off, but it just cuts off. Oh yeah, no, it goes to the post office, so you're good. You're good. I mean, I don't go to the post office every day, so you're all good. And I know my post-op mistress very, very well. So there we go. So I'm going to set this aside because this is going to be our, thank you, Penny. This is going to be our second card for today. Now, I've kind of got the first card ready to go, a sample, but it's not 100% done, but I wanted to show it to you. This is basically what we're going to do tonight. Okay? So what I did is I took that, we're using the box for the most part. I took, this is the die that came in the box, and I grabbed one, and I just happened to cut out, I think it was this size. Nope, the one smaller. You can use any size you really want. And I just happened to cut out a piece of black cardstock, Raven cardstock, and I used it. And of course, now I can't find my piece, so I may have to cut another. Oh, here it is. And I thought, this looks perfect for a mask. So that's what we're going to do. This one is, I have the new ruler here. which is, this one is the one that's 1.5 inches wide. Okay. And I just cut it out, and I'm just going to grab a card panel here, and we're just going to just kind of it's not going to look 100% the same, but it's going to be close enough. Now, here's where it gets tricky because I am a heavy blender. I'm going to grab these. So we're going to do a little bit of blending. This is just some Post-it note tape. I've been using this up. I know it was from Brutus Monroe, but I don't think they're available anymore. Any Post-it note tape will work. And then I just grabbed a rainbow of inks, and I like to always start with my yellow when I can. Okay. And then I just have my blending brushes here. And we're going to just blend it in, and blend it how much you want. I tried to grab more of the brighter colors. I thought would be more fun for me in this part because we're making kind of a fun rainbow card. You know, I don't need any pixie spray because, I mean, you could use your stick and stamp mat, of course, to hold everything down. But I also have my magnetized mat here. So that's it. And then you do this. And then all I'm going to do is pick it up and move it one way or the other. So I'm going to go this way first. And I thought it was just fun, kind of overlapping. My original thought was to use 2 colors and to have them overlap. But of course, there was way too much between them. So I did grab an entire rainbow of colors. So the first one was Shooting Star. This one is Traffic Cone. Y'all know I love my Simon Hurley inks. I didn't worry too much about making sure this was straight up and down. I probably should have, because it's kind of a clean and simple card. But I figured if I make a couple of them awkward, we'll make the other ones awkward. You know, like not awkward, but like random willy-nilly. And it really doesn't even have to be a perfect blend, because we could always spritz this. Hi, Valencia from Ohio. And of course, you know, the yellow obviously is going to get covered. Now, of course, my sticky here is not sticking. But I thought the key was, like you said, you could go up, you could go down. I'm going to go down a little bit here now. We're going to do the red next. And, you know, like I said, they don't have to be straight because I didn't quite get that one straight. I probably should have. But it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, let's say here we got our red bee sting. This is one of my favorite reds. So tomorrow, I know some of us have the birthday class. I hope those of you who are joining us are excited. I am excited. I did not look at any information. I know I got a text message not too long ago from someone asking me about times and things, but I don't think she's on tonight. But put my magnets down here. But I can post that later in the Spring Fling group, because I know I may not be live. I always take the pup for a little walk in the morning. Yes, that's what I thought. It would be fun, and it would be fun to do it longwise too. You know, like you could do red, you know, and go this way, which I'm thinking would be fun. I think it would be fun, Amanda, to do it with some pastes. Take some time. Like if you're going to do it on a scrapbook page, you could lay some of them out in different sizes and put some of those pastes down, like the chroma glaze in different colors, and do different sizes. And you could totally use like acetate or transparencies to create so see-through, so they're easy to see. Luann, I am excited for it too. It's been a while since I've taken a class, so I am super excited. Now, I think I did the green down below before. I'm going to try to go really low with the green this time, because I'm going to change up these colors. Just change up the pattern a little bit. And I don't know how much I'll create during the class, because I will try to help moderate. And a lot of times when we have our events, I tend to just moved this, of course. I tend to create samples while the class is going on, so that way I can stop in the middle, and then I go back later and take my time and watch. So I watch the class, help answer questions like what like Penny does too, and then I'll watch the class later and make my cards. But I think it'll be fun. Yeah, we just felt, yeah. Oh yeah. It's not hard to fall down the rabbit hole when you're starting to think things through. I have a lot to do and create. I will not be live next week because of Spring Fling. So just so you guys are aware of that. We sometimes we have an unboxing sometimes video. I'm not sure if that is, but I won't be live next week because of the event. However, the following week, I have something really fun for you guys. I'm actually doing a collab of sorts on my channel because I am doing in CYOE, one of the teachers is Whitney and Angela from Unity. And I am actually going to be doing a whole week of guest designing for them on their Facebook page, Growing in Unity. And so for that Friday Night Live, I'm going to combine Brutus Monroe and Unity products together. So that's going to be really fun because that's my last day as live. So there's Sandy. I was just talking about you, Missy. I said, I saw your text message, but I did not answer you yet because I was preparing for my live. I will answer you after. Except that I think you had plans tonight, so you'll have to check them after maybe, right? Didn't you? I hear you say you had plans. Or is that tomorrow night? You have plans. All right, so that was no diving. I guess I forgot to give you the colors. Later Gator, no diving. This is my favorite rainbow color when I use all the colors. And then I have Crown Me here as my last color. You all know purple's my favorite. I mean, this is a pretty simple and fast card. You could just choose, oops, except that I moved it. I should have used better tape, to be honest with you. This is not the best Post-it note tape. It doesn't really hold anything down once you've used it once or twice, but it works for me tonight. You could use any colors. You could use one or two colors. You could use a monochromatic and do a bunch of colors, but look at how kind of fun that is. Now, when we cut this down, we're going to cut this down a little bit. I'm going to cut a little bit more of the red off so that it matches since there's so much more of the purple. It kind of depended on where I put things down. I mean, here, see, there's the difference. I mean, it's similar, but it's not exactly the same. I kind of did do the same exact kind of colors, but all right, I'm going to wipe this up really quick. Oh, you guys have to check this out. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see all the little, look at all the teeth marks. Fletch has eaten this brush 2 or 3 times. I don't know if it fell on the floor and he took off with it or if he pulled it off. I had it in a different stand. Now I have it in like a cup. I think that was kind of funny. Little stinker. He was laying on the floor here, but he just ran into the other bedroom. He likes to lay on the bed and listen to me when I talk, I think, when I go live. And then as soon as I go downstairs, he's like, nope, done, Mom. I'm coming with you. All right, I'm going to move those inks out of the way just because I'm running out of space on my desktop here. Yeah, they do look like big fat jelly beans. I haven't had jelly beans yet, Valencia. Jelly beans are like my kryptonite. I love them. You're fine. You are all good, Penny. No problem. I did pre-link in the description when I posted the box and the stencil of the month and the chroma, the opal, because I figured those were the items I knew I was going to use. And okay, so now I don't know if you guys can see this. It's very faint. I did get a little green right there. So I just take this my blender brush, Sandy, my blender brush. You see that? Oh, you wouldn't, Sandy, he got a hold of something else, something I haven't used yet that I just got in the mail. That's all I can say. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, I was very angry with him this morning when I got home from lunch. Fortunately, it was still in the package and he didn't hurt it. But I was like, oh, I didn't even get a chance to use that yet. So he jumped up on my desk while I was at work today and he grabbed some things. All right, so I am using, this is the Good Vibes stamp set. It is available separately. There are some SVGs available. I believe. If I'm speaking out of turn, I'm sorry. We'll make sure. I know they will be available. But this is the one that came in the box. So, and all I'm using today is the flowers. And I think my little flowers, I hope, are in my other Misty because they're not in here. And I'm just using these 3 smiley face ones. Just stick that off to the side without hurting my other one. And I am going to mix it up again. I used the big one on my orange. This time I'm going to move it over to my blue. And I'm going to do it down lower. Just going to change it up a little bit because then that kind of shows you the differences. And then I think I'm going to do the yellow orange. And then I'm going to do the red. Okay, so we're mixing it up a little bit. And then, but all I wanted was to make sure my flowers were in the color. That was the key. And then I'm just going to use some Raven detail ink and stamp this out. This is a very fast card. Oh, well, okay, I should admit, I did do one other thing. I did heat emboss these ones with Raven embossing powder. I'm gonna not do that tonight because Simon Hurley's inks take a few minutes to dry and I'm not gonna take the time to set them. So I'm just gonna stamp them really good tonight with the Raven ink. Use my little perfect press from Treasure Blue Sparkle. And of course, you know, a couple weeks ago, my ink was super, super juicy and I've been using it. So now it's going to take a couple. Yes, thank you for I thought the SVGs were available. I will tell you, they cut like a dream. Here is what I do is I put the SVGs in because I have a Joy, and I space them out so I can cut little samples. And then I use a piece of paper in my Misty, which this is in the corner, so I can do it. And I stamp them out, and then I just arrange them like this. And I tape them in place with some washi tape. And then I can put my pieces in there and I can stamp them over and over and over again. And they lined up perfectly. So I will tell you that they are awesome that way. And then I just used some old packaging. This is from some Creative Cards. And I just stuck all the extra pieces, my little negative pieces, and all the pieces I already have stamped out. And I stick it in the back of my packaging. And it's perfect for that. So, all right. I'm going to stamp this down just a couple more times, just because we're stamping over wet ink. So it takes a minute to get dark, dark, dark. Yep. Have fun, Sandy. I knew you were going to the concert tonight. Enjoy. All right. There we go. Then I thought for some added fun, instead of just the flowers, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use this Misty because I already have it out. I grabbed all the little flowers because sometimes we don't, I'm going to put these away. We don't always use the little stamps in our stamp set. Sometimes we forget about them. And I have tried in the past, and sometimes I forget, to try to focus on using those on a card so that gives you some ideas. So we're going to grab them because I'm sure they're here on my Misty, which they are. And we're going to line them up. So let me grab them off my mini Misty here. Sorry, I heard some noise downstairs. I was trying to see what was going on. If Puppy was being naughty. I'm sorry, I got very quiet there. And I just arranged them in flowers of 3. And I think I'm going to mess these up a little bit. I'm going to put one down here this time, because I think that's just fun. This is just a different version of the card I already made. So we're just going to stamp them down a little bit. And then a hint that I have for you is that you can take packaging like this and lay it down. But I fortunately have this little handy grid. This is from Tailored Expression, but packaging works perfectly. And you can just lay it down on your stamp set, and then you can use your little stamps And I'm gonna kind of rearrange them so that they're not by the same. So like I want the bigger one down here. And then I'm gonna put the little one to the right and then this other little one next to the clump here. And we're just gonna stamp. And then I didn't have to clean my stamp. So like I said, a piece of plastic, a piece of acetate works really well for that. And then you don't have to worry about cleaning your stamp, especially the little stamps, because a lot of times when we do little stamps, we rub them and then we kind of flip them off our MISTI or off our acrylic block because they're little, when you try to clean them. So I find that it's just easier to just grab this little piece of, like a piece of acetate or plastic. And then, let's see, this one we're going to do here again. And then the big one is going to go right next to it. It's going to get kind of cut off. Actually, maybe we'll put the big one and then we'll cut off the little one because the little one's been in there. And then we're going to take the other medium-sized one and we'll put that right about there. And that's going to finish off our card for stamping. We do have a sentiment, but I do have the sentiment pre-colored. I figured you guys didn't want to sit and watch me color tonight, all night, especially if we're going to make 2 cards. So I did pre-color. I stamped all of mine images out on Perfect Blend and used, with the SVGs, cut them out. And it did my, like I said, my negative stamping where I used the squares. And then I just colored them in with some Olo markers. Oh, did I use any Copics? I don't think I used Copics this time. I think I just used Olos. That is pretty much done for our stamping tonight. We have a little bit more to do. So here's that. I am going to I stamped out the smile, and this is what we're going to use as our sentiment. Now, this card, it fit perfectly right here. And I just colored it in rainbow color, in rainbow order. This one, it's probably going to cover something up, but I'm okay with that. I'm thinking we might put it up at the top. I'm going to put it down below. I haven't quite decided yet. We're going to cut this down and play with it and get it kind of going. So, like I said before, I am going to cut this down to 5 1/4, and I cut a bunch of it off one side instead of a little off each because I have so much of the purple missing, and so I wanted to cut that red down. And then we're going to cut it down to 4. And that little bit changes a lot because it cut off a bunch of the both sides. And then I think for me, a rainbow pops when it's on black cardstock. Don't know if I have any pre-made out. So got some Raven cardstock here, and we're just going to cut this down to, I'm actually going to cut it down to, let's see, what size is this? What is this? That's 8 1/2. So we're going to cut this one down to 4 1/4 to start, because then I have one that's kind of ready for a regular mat. And then we'll cut it down a little bit. So we're going to do 5. Oh, I don't even know what that is. I'll measure it with our little ruler. How does that sound? I'm going between, what is it, 4 1/4 and 5 3/4. Does that kind of sound about right? Let's see. We'll use our little new ruler here. You're not gonna be able to see it on camera. Yep, 4 1/16 by 5 and this actually says 3/8. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just so that there's a little bit of a border. I don't want a super thick black border, but I want just enough of a border so that when I go put it on my card, that little bit of white still shows. See how that pops? And it ties in the black, where if you just, I mean, you can do it just like this, but man, does that, look at the difference between that and white when you put it on the black border. It pops a lot. So let's get this here. And then it's kind of a simpler card. This one is, it didn't take super long. I mean, obviously the ink blending took a little bit of time, but it didn't take a ton of time. You could judge this up however you want. Sorry, I'm going to have to I'm gonna eyeball this as best I can on my black. I hate my black. I hate doing black on the black mat because sometimes it's hard to see it in my, it's not perfect. Yeah, that didn't get on there perfectly. So let's throw a piece of orange down so I can see it better. I've got several pieces laying here for this, using this release, just waiting for card bases, card panels. Thank you. I think it's something fun and simple. And then, like I said, it needs to pop on white, which I need to grab. Let's see, do I have a card base handy? Let's put it on a card base because I don't need 2 card panels. I need 1 on a card base, and then I have a card to send out. Just throw this quick on a card base. I literally was eyeballing this die cut when I cut it out because I used that black for to mat on one of my other cards, and I thought that would be a perfect little stencil. And then we have our sentiment. Now, one thing you could do is you could cut out numerous of these with your SVG and stack them. I'm gonna just pop it up because I don't have any excess cut out right now. And then we'll add a little bit of bling. But I think before I do that, we're gonna grab our little spray tray here and we're gonna add some sparkle. And you know what we're gonna add, of course, my favorite. I'm officially in my 2nd bottle, you guys. You would think that I would be in like 3rd or 4th, but I'm in my 2nd. So I'm just gonna shake this up a little bit just to kind of mix it all together. You see how, if you look at that, see how it kind of sits on the bottom like that? It's got a lot of that gold mica in there, so I like to get that all mixed up. I just don't want to shake it on camera because that can make people sick. And then what I like to do is I like to take my bottle and just spritz it into my garbage first. It helps to get rid of having more of a spritzy than having lots of big drops. I mean, I still have drops, but not super big drops. And then look at, it's just got that fun shimmer to it. Isn't that fun? Oh, now I'm going to show you the difference. This one has that fun shimmer. And then this one has the shimmer from the embossing powder. So it's a little bit different, but they're still so fun. All right. Now we're going to add this. It takes a second for it to dry, but we're going to add our sentiment here. And we got a great card. Very fun rainbowy card. All right, got to cut a little bit of that extra. And when I have the extra something similar like this, I just stick it in somewhere to save those little pieces. And then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to pull this off. We'll add some crystals at the end. We'll get our other card made here too. And then I think, I don't know if I like it. I'm going to do it up here. I'm going to cover up that flower a little bit and we're just going to do it right up here. And then we've got it. Look at how fun that is. I mean, you could change your sentiment to be however you want. You wouldn't need to use the smile. And what I did for here is I used the darker color on this, and then I used a lighter color. Like I did a medium and a light color on the letters, and I did the dark color on the shadow to kind of give it some dimension. So we'll add a little bit of, but let's go on. We're going to finish our other card up here, and then we can add some sparkle to it. All right, so through the magic of television, we have our card base here. Now, I said I like to mat cards, rainbow cards. So we are going to cut this down because this is 8.5 by 1, 2, 3.25. So I am going to cut down a little bit. I'm actually just going to cut it down to cut off that pattern so the pattern is perfectly, which makes this just over 8.25. And I'm going to leave it just like that. I think that's perfect, and we'll mat it accordingly. I'm going to grab my Raven cardstock. I'm going to show you. Thank you. It is a very happy card. And see how it It's just going to mat it on just enough, 8.5. So if I cut that down to, it was just a little over 8.25. It's not perfect. It's close enough. But the pattern is perfect. I can cut this down to, what did I say this was? A little over 1/4. So we're going to do 3.5. So 8.5 sheet of cardstock. We'll do 3.5. Because I think if you use a business envelope, you can do 9 by 14 for the most part. Or 9 by 4. 9 by 4. Sorry, I misspoke at 9 by 4. So we've got this as our base. And I just love how that kind of, like I said, it pops off of that, which of course you can't see with that black background or black thing. Now I took the rainbow pieces, and I pre-colored them. So you didn't have to sit and watch me color. Let's if I move it over so it's got a little more light. That shimmer from that pearl or that opal is just beautiful. So I took this piece and I pre-colored it. And this is what they look like. I just used some Olo markers. I did a 3 blend. And what we're going to do is, I was playing around a little bit, and there's multiple ways this could be done. I thought this would be fun. You could do it this way if you wanted to do a circle on the top, but I'm thinking this. I might pop those up a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is to add a little bit more of that black. We're going to cut a black oval. So that's about the only thing I didn't do quite yet. So I have this piece of Raven. Now I could cut this out of the mat because you're never going to see it if you wanted to. I have plenty of Raven cardstock, so I'm just going to leave that. And I'm thinking this piece is about perfect. I'm going to peek off screen here a second. Yep. Because I already have my stand. So I think this is just fun because I kind of want it to make it look like the rainbow is continuous. So I just grabbed this one. It is about 2 inches. So a quick cut that out. I grab my little die cut machine here and we will quick cut. Oh, you know what? This one might even be perfect. Oh, it is. We're just going to use this piece. If I can find my little my little cutting plates. Kate, in my opinion, a rainbow card is almost always a happy card. I mean, I know we have cards for like when our fur babies cross the rainbow bridge, and those are not supposed to be happy cards, but I mean, 90% of the time, how do you not be happy when you have a rainbow on your card? Rainbow is happy and sunshiny. Okay, so hopefully I cut this out perfectly. It did. It was just big enough. So, see now, there's not enough space, but if you had more space on this, you could use this as a mat as well. So we're going to throw that piece away though, because I'm not going to use that. And magnet stuck to everything. So this is my thoughts is we're going to do this. Now, this is where you could go like this. Depending on what your image that you wanted to use on it. Like, for example, here's like a butterfly. You could put and I'm not going to use this, but you could do that. Now, what I did is I cut this out. And because I didn't have enough room for purple, I decided my whole sentiment was going to be purple to finish the rainbow. Now, this is where we have to decide. Do we like it to go like this with the black up and down, which I'm kind of leaning towards? So this would be A. Or do we like it like this? This would be B. Anyone have any thoughts? B this way or A this way? You guys can help me decide. I know what I like. Let's put this away while I wait a minute. And while we're kind of thinking about that, so like I said, A is horizontal, B is horizontal, A is vertical. I'm going to go ahead and put my card base together, my card panel together. B, Amanda says B. Oh, I got an A, I got a B. I got an, oh, B it is, because there's 3 B's, 3 B's, 3 B's, wanted out. Okay, we're going to do B first. Works for me. We're an interactive class tonight. and 2 A's, mostly B's. I was an A too, but I don't count. All right. I'm going to once again, I'm just going to grab one of these so we can see what we're doing here, so we can eyeball this. And I always figure if I don't eyeball it right, I'll just cut it down a little bit so it looks even. All right. I just think that pearl is so pretty, or I guess I keep calling it pearl, but it's opal. It's so pretty. I kept forgetting about it because I'm like, I know I have it. I had to dig for it. I had it put away somewhere. And then I'm like, oh, that's all I have. So literally I ran to cart. Okay. So now this is where I got to decide. Do I want to pop those up a little bit? I think we're going to pop them up. So I got to grab my tape. Okay. I feel like everything needs a little more pop. So we're going to go ahead and grab our tape, and we're not going to be perfect with it. We're just going to cut some pieces off. I just think we need a little bit more. It stormed so much last night, you guys, here. It was storms were coming, and I know there was a tornado in southern Iowa, not anywhere near me. Thank goodness. But they kept telling us we were supposed to have really bad storms during the night, and they didn't come really. And it started to storm, I don't know, about 5 o'clock this morning. And it really picked up wind. And the dog kind of, Fletch, he wasn't too keen. He didn't really bark because it was lightning a little bit, but you could hear the wind, and I think you could feel the pressure. So shut all the windows, and then it started to come down. And we obviously have a metal roof on our house. Yes, this glaze is still available. The opal. Yes. I even checked. Like I said, I linked it in the chat or down in the description. I know it says that in below, but I should say that any links in the chat are affiliate links. If you choose to use them, it doesn't cost you anything. I do get a little small kickback for that, or a little, but I said it's the easiest way for me because I keep my links on a piece of paper. So Jamie, we went downstairs and it started to hail, and it hailed. And I mean, they were little pieces of hail. I mean, I think the biggest I saw in town was probably that size. I do know there was some hail damage even 30 minutes away. It was a little nuts because um, we went downstairs and it was bouncing off the walls enough that it sounded like it was breaking things. And even when I took the dog for a walk, Tom asked, he's like, did you check, how did the truck look? And I was like, I didn't go that far. I don't know. But then, like I said, we went for a walk. We didn't get to go as early as we normally go on Fridays because it was raining. And we're walking down the street, just up the street here, and right in the corner house down here, there was a huge, huge pile about this big, and it was all hail, and it looked like snow. There was 2 or 3 of them. So it was just crazy. So yeah, he did not like that last night. He was up for a while. So I am a little sleepy, but we'll make it through. It's Friday. He won't let me sleep in, though. That's the problem. He'll want me up and about by 7 o'clock saying, let's go for a run, Mom. I'm ready to go. So all I'm doing here is I'm going to double up I'm going to double up I don't know why I did that. It's fine. We'll make it work. We're going to double up right here because I'm actually going to eyeball that right now, because I'm going to actually stick that. So we're just going to double it up. I'll do it this way. So it'll work. We're going to double all this up. So yeah, so it was an interesting night. Like I said, we lucked out here where I live. But my honey when he was at work today, he was talking to some people, and they all had like truck damage and this and that. And I was like, oh, we lucked out. So I am going to eyeball this and use kind of the bottom of this right here to use as my spot and then I'm lining it up straight with the end of that. So it'll be close enough that it will look. And then we'll do the same thing over here. So, and then yeah, like it rained one more time, and then it rained, it sprinkled off and on. We needed the rain. And then I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm gonna use this bottom corner here to kind of eyeball it. I'm using the pattern to kind of make sure it's pretty close. Because when you have something simple, kind of simple like that, you want it to look as close as possible so that it looks right. Because those little things can make it look off. All right. So I doubled up I put a little bit too much on, but it'll be fine. I put an extra piece right there, and then we're going to go ahead and we said B. So I'm going to pull this down so I can eyeball it, you guys. I'm sorry. As straight as I can make it. Kind of using the top edge. Okay, so there we go. So this is where you can make your decisions. I might not have got it all the way perfectly here. I should have probably measured. It's close. It's close enough. Where you can change up however you wanted. Like you said, you could do a circle, you could do a square. I wanted to use the box, and then we're going to put this on here. So I wanted to use the die set from the box. It's called Nestled Ovals. If you have it and you keep track of your names of things. Or nestable ovals, nested ovals. That works for me. And then we're going to stamp and we're going to put this, and here's our little sentiment. We're going to eyeball that right here in the center to finish off our rainbow. And there we've got 2 cards. We do got to add a little bling now because it's not the same without the bling. So let's get all these little pieces of paper out of here. And then I'm going to see, I did some rearranging on my desk, so that's got to go in there so that I have a little more space. I got my computer off here. I put my computer over there, so it's kind of up higher. And then I have a nice little drawer here that I can put all my little bling, and I got my little pad here and a couple of my ink pads. I don't use this much. I'm going to use the crystals. There's all sorts of fun ones. You could use the hematite, or you could use, there's the emerald green, or the violet shift. Any one you want, but I'm just going to go ahead and use the regular old crystals. So for those of you who have been with me and you're prepared, I'm getting ready to grab my place tool, my wax stick. So, you know, I know Francie's not here right now, but if you're watching Francie, get your eye goggles on. All right, we need, oh, and I had more, I had something else too. We got to put some, I also, if you guys don't remember this die, I don't remember exactly the name of it. I apologize. It came out in February. I have 2 of them because I wanted to be able to cut more than one. And I cut a bunch of flowers out, and we're going to throw some of these flowers down. I cut one out of every color of the rainbow, or as close to the rainbow as I could. I thought they'd be fun to add. So we're going to add a few of those too. So let's grab a few of those, and we're going to plop them in. I thought they would be fun. I don't know. Maybe I don't want them on this card. Maybe we'll put them on this card. I think we're going to put them on that card. I don't know if I want them on here. We're just going to add some gems to this one. So I think I'm definitely going to put one. Oh, there was a bubble in the center of, what is going on with my glue? There's like a bubble or something. Okay, hold on. We're going to squeeze this out on a piece of paper. There we go. It's still bubbling up, but it'll be fine. Must have an air bucket in there. And then we're just going to add a few more. I'm just going to add like one here, and here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7's my lucky number. Flower doodles. Thank you, Penny. I just forgot to look it up tonight. I knew I grabbed it, but I forgot that I had cut that out when I was looking earlier. I didn't want to use a lot of stuff tonight. I know sometimes I use a lot. I use a lot of products, and I was trying to use a little bit minimal tonight. So the one thing, the pattern, the white paper would be one thing that did not come in the box. And obviously neither did the stencil or the opal, but the rest of everything else was available in the box. Of course, this bling, you could use any kind of bling you want. I just happen to love our flat back pearls. I just use the lid and I kind of shake the lid and it rearranges them so that they're flat for me. Then I'm just going to grab this. Oh, and I see I got an extra one right there. Let's get that out of there. And I just take my cloth and I touch it and I tap and push down. I don't really push down too much, but I push down a little bit to kind of pull up any extra glue. That just helps a little bit with it when it dries. So there we go. We've got card number 2 is officially finished. I think it's fun. You could use a shimmer pen and paint these if you wanted to. I'm gonna just leave mine today alone. And then here's where we're gonna add some of these flowers. And I think what I'm gonna do is add some of the flowers to each of the colors. And then we'll add some bling too. I don't know why this is bubbling so bad. There we go. Let's see if that helps. Nope, it's still bubbling. It's weird. That's all right. We're just gonna add some. I'm gonna add a bunch of different colors. I've got every color flower. Well, then we'll see what we want to add on. And I just think these are just some fun little flowers. Now I'm going to try to use the daisy ones for the most part. Now there is a couple other kinds. Like this one has some little doodad or like marks on it, but they're very big. And I'm trying to use the smaller ones. But there are a couple fun, like there's one like, you know, that's kind of the starbursty. I'll grab one of these purple ones here. I'm trying to shake them around here so we can find the little bits and pieces. I think what I'm going to do is grab this one here. It's got the little bits in it, and then I'm going to put a piece of, and I'm going to layer them. And then we'll put a gem in the middle as well as for some of them. We'll do another one like that with the yellow. We'll do this big. That one's a little big, but we'll make it work. My goodness. I think we're going to switch to a different glue, you guys. So does anyone have any big plans? I know there's a holiday weekend for some people. Anyone's got plans this weekend? Getting together for friends or family? Any of that fun stuff? Not a lot going on for me and Tom. Probably going to stay home for the most part, which I'm okay with. For the blue, I couldn't find the right. We don't have quite the right blue in Brutus Monroe colors to match the blue that I colored with this color. So I just used some more of that No Diving ink to color it up. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 flowers. Let's get one more. We'll put a red one in there somewhere. I'll put one more red one. And then we're going to put some bling on because then we have an odd number. And we're going to add a crystal to the front center of each of our flowers. And then to the center of, I have a couple other dots here. Because you can never have enough bling on a card, right? Not when it's a happy card. No Easter plans, birthday class tomorrow. Yep, birthday class tomorrow. Plan on taking the dog, like I said, for a run early, be back in time to be in class on time so I don't get in trouble with the teacher, get sent to the principal's office. I don't know if I could handle Miss Heather disciplining me for being late. Just kidding. She wouldn't discipline me. I just had to tease her a little bit in case she listens later. And I think Tom was going to go turkey hunting on Sunday, but I think he changed his mind. So probably go for a walk with the pup in the morning, or he'll take him and let me sleep in or do some work around the house when there's no one around. Like I try to vacuum when they're out and about on Saturday mornings because the puppy doesn't like the vacuum cleaner like most dogs. It depends on the weather too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I've got another one here. Oh, no, that does have a gem on it. No, it doesn't. It's a bubble. Okay. You're not gonna, is it dry? That's weird. There is a gem there. It's just not, it's not a crystal gem. That's weird. Sorry, you guys, that got distracted me. Let's put this gem, we'll put a new gem there. It was like a white gem. It was weird. All right, we need one more. We're gonna do it right here. Get some glue there. We'll grab this one and put it there, and we'll count one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 13 gems. Lucky number. All right, you guys. There we go. So I hope you had a little bit of fun using the Groovy Darlin', the Groovy Vibe stamp set from the Groovy Darlin' box, and the dies from there. And we had a couple of fun cards. We're going to end just a couple minutes early, which is great because usually I'm late. Let me get my gems out of the way here so you guys can see what we are, see both cards. I appreciate y'all so much. Don't forget to, it's still Freebie Friday. If you have, I think, thank you, Heather. Thanks, Penny or Groovy. If I'm correct, Heather, Penny, I think it's $75 and it automatically adds the perfect placement tool to your cart. And I think that's their Sunday night. Is that correct? I did hear the Austin Power Groovy, baby. Thanks, Amanda. Yes, $75. Also want to remind you guys that we still have um I don't have the sketch handy, but if you go to the Brutus Monroe fan club page, there is a sketch for a sketch challenge this month for the CYOE challenge. It's a very basic, easy sketch to do, you know, it can be with any kind of project. Thanks, Brandon. I had lots of fun playing with them. You can see I still have, look, see, I still have. Oh, you want to see a sneaky peek of what I'm working on? It's nothing like out new, but I have a project where I'm working on this. Isn't that beautiful? One of the creative cards, the Radiant Roots creative cards. I created a little frame with it. It's in gilded, and that's as far as I've gotten with it. I'm just having so much fun with it. That's just sitting here on my desk for that. So you guys all have a great night, great weekend, and I will see you in class tomorrow, some of you, and then it will be a couple weeks before I have my next live. Have a good night, you guys.